Hi, this is Violet from Scrappy Mania, and today I want to give you a review of my album that I created for my sister-in-law. I used this Pink Elegant Scrapbooking Kit from Martha Stewart, and I used a lot of the pages and the embellishment from the kit. Now, I did like the kit in that it had coordinated papers with an album, plus it had some mats and some journaling spots and things like that. But what I did not like about the kit, it was a little too plain for me. I wanted to make this album special, and I wanted to make the album be something that my sister-in-law would treasure forever. So I took this, and I took the sketch from what she provided here, what Martha Stewart provided. And this is what's left over. Just a couple more pages was left over. Some photo corners. I do have some tags, some little tags and stuff left over, and some alphabet. But basically, most of the stuff in the kit, I've used it up. Now, I did add, if you've been watching me along with my other videos process, I have added some pages from the Webster Pages Warehouse Sale. I also added some pages from Anna Griffin. But other than that, I haven't really added too much other than that. So this is the first page. Now I already have it all in sequence, how it's going to fit in my album. So this is the first page, and I used an embossing folder that I just purchased that's actually 5.5 by 12, and I cut out the shape and just paste it there. And I used some coordination cardstock that had a green base with black, on top. So when you take your sanding block, it reveals the core, which was green. So this is one of the pages. So this is going to be the first page. Then this is all Martha Stewart from that kit. So I took one of the inspiration layouts that she had there, and I just spruced it up with some of Anna Griffin stamps and butterflies. Actually, that was a butterfly that I just purchased that came with the stamp and the die cut. I used some of my Martha Stewart doily punch that you take a circle and you put it on in this punch, and it creates a doily, and you twist it and you punch down. So I used that for that and for here. But basically most of it is from the Anna Griffin, from the Martha Stewart album. I also used some alphabet tiles that I had left over from another project. And so that's my second page. Here's my third page. Now this is completely Webster's Pages. There's no Martha Stewart at all here. And I do put my bride, I do have a video how I created her, and this is a Prima doll. And then this is actually the Teen Scene by Cricut. So it's the doll Cricut page. And then, just a lot of elements from Webster's Pages. So this is basically Webster's Pages. This is Anna Griffin again, Martha Stewart. I keep confusing her name, but this is from Martha Stewart, and this is the kit. And this one is just very minimum. I wanted to just make it very basic. So then I added a swirl from the Anna Griffin Die and Emboss metal die, and did the same thing over here. I took the alphabets and I put some embossing powder on the alphabet. In addition to that, before I put the embossing powder, I did dip the alphabet on this metallic ink pad, and just kind of gave it a little copper finish, so that way it will coordinate with the swirl and with the layout itself. This is the other coordinating page, using strictly Martha Stewart pages or papers with a little bit of Webster's Pages. My butterfly stamp, Anna Griffin metal dies, and cut out some swirlies, and some more Anna Griffin stamps that I have colored and placed them throughout the page. So that's another one. Now, I used the inspiration again. I've been using the sketch to do this, and actually this is this one, and this one is this one. So these two are the inspiration for this page. Here's the other page, and I do have a video on these two pages. And they're similar, but they're not exactly the same. But it does, the color and everything kind of coordinates very nicely together, so it looks nice side by side in that page. Again, I use Webster's Pages. Some cardstock that I have from Die Cut Wood Review that I cut down to 4.5 by 6.5, and just black cardstock, and that's pretty much it. Here's another page inspired by Martha Stewart and her kit and her sketch. So this actually is this, and this is actually this. So these two, what would inspire me to create this page. I used some Anna Griffin dies that she had, metal dies, to create these embellishment in the background. Here's the alphabet from the Martha Stewart kit. I did not color these alphabet. I just left it the natural color that it came. And then a lot of embellishments from the Webster's Pages. Here's another one of the Martha Stewart kit. Now, this page was inspired by this, and this page was basically just inspired by one of these. I mean, I really didn't really have a real inspiration about this other than the putting a mat in the center and then just putting stuff around it. So that's pretty much it on here. This is another page that I created. Now this one's very, very simple, and it's because I wanted to give more emphasis on the picture. So whenever she has a picture of the cake, you always want to remember how your cake looked. So later on in years to come, she can, hopefully she will go back to this album and fondly remember the cake and maybe the history behind that cake or whatnot. But that's why I didn't really want to make it too elaborate. And for this one, I basically just took, for this one it was this inspiration, and for this one it was actually just putting it like this that it got me inspired. So it's the same, it was the same sketch, but one has the portrait and landscape. Okay. Again, Martha Stewart pages, papers, Anna Griffin dies, and then some flowers that I created using some florals that I found at the wedding section at Michael's. Here's another page, and actually it goes this way. And I guess it doesn't make a difference, but if you look at this, when I put this down in the album, if I put it this way, it looks like it's missing stuff. So you see how this looks, there's a lot of heaviness here, and it looks like it needs a little more here, and it looks unbalanced because I'm looking at this right now and I feel like everything is here. There's a lot of cluster in the middle and it's just unbalanced. But look what happens when I switch it around. See how it looks more balanced, and your eye will naturally flow down and up and down. So see how it looks like it's not tilting or to the center. It just looks like it's carrying its weight proportionally when you put it together in the album. So you have to keep that in mind when you are constructing your album and your pages, especially like this one was done way before I made this one. So you really have to kind of think about it, how it's going to look on your page. And this is the last of the album, and this is You and Me. So even though, see how it balances out, there's some heaviness here, but you balance it out with some elements here so it looks nice and balanced. Look how it will look if I didn't have that there. It will look like it's tilting this way because there's a lot of weight on this side. But by putting that, it actually just making it kind of balanced. And then when I first created it, see how it looks like heavy here? It's kind of still, it feels like it's tilting this way in my mind. And it kind of looks a little heavy, but then when I just put some elements here, it just grounds it and kind of feels like it's balanced. Okay, so I hope you like this video in review of the album. I hope my sister-in-law loves this album for her wedding, and thank you for watching. Bye now.